All right, let's dive right in. Life is gonna throw stuff at us. That's a given. Pain, difficulty, disappointment, it's all part of the deal. So the real question isn't if we'll face it, but how we choose to respond when we do. Today, we're gonna explore a really powerful way to navigate those choppy waters.
Look, we all have our go-to moves for when things get tough. But have you ever stopped to think, what if those habits, the very things you do to feel better, are actually the things keeping you trapped? It's a struggle we all know, and that's exactly where our journey begins. So when that pain hits, what's our first instinct? Usually it's fear, right? Or we get angry, we start pointing fingers, especially at ourselves. The Raft to Freedom program has this great image for it. It's like we're tightening the knot. We take the original pain, and with our reaction, we add a whole second layer of suffering right on top. So what's the alternative to fighting? Well, this quote, it just nails it. Instead of bracing against the waves of life, which is exhausting, what if we could learn to meet them, to approach them with an open heart? It's a huge shift from resistance to something much more skillful. So to really get this, we have to look at where we're all starting from. And the Raft program uses a really powerful metaphor to describe this common human ground.
They call it the dangerous shore. And this isn't some personal failing on your part. It's just the deal. It's the reality of being human. In some traditions, it's called dukkha, that sort of background hum of unsatisfactoriness in life. This is the shore we all find ourselves on and the one we all want to leave.
And what I think is so important here is how the program looks at this struggle. It's not about being bad or weak. It's about recognizing these universal human patterns. We crave things. We avoid others. We get caught in these loops just trying to manage our pain, just trying to feel a little bit better. It's a much kinder way to see it. Okay, so if we're all stuck on this dangerous shore, how in the world do we get off it? Well, you need a way to travel. You need a vehicle. And that right there is the Raft. And Raft, it's not just a cool name. It's actually an acronym for the 4 steps of this whole journey. You start by recognizing what's really going on. Then you learn to abandon the old habits that aren't serving you. From there, you experience freedom. And finally, you train in new, healthier ways of living. It's a clear, step-by-step path. But think about it. A raft is just a bunch of logs floating around unless you have something to tie them together, right? Something strong. In this journey, those ropes are qualities of the heart. And the very first rope we need, the one that holds it all together from the start, is compassion. Okay, so compassion. It's a word we throw around all the time. But what does it really mean here? Let's dig in, because honestly, getting this right is the key to the whole thing. So in the Raft program, compassion isn't some passive, oh, that's too bad kind of feeling. No, it's an active response. It's seeing suffering in yourself or in someone else and meeting it with genuine care, with empathy, and with what the program calls the heart's desire to help make it better. And this chart, man, it lays it out so clearly. On one side, you have our usual reactive responses: fear, judgment, isolation. But on the other side, that's the compassionate response. Instead of blame, there's kindness. Instead of resisting pain, there's the courage to just be with it. It's a complete game changer. And this quote, this one really hits home. It makes no sense to talk about my pain or your pain. It only makes sense to talk about pain. Wow. It just dissolves that feeling of being all alone in your struggle, doesn't it? It connects us. It reminds us that pain is just pain, a shared human experience. And listen, if you're thinking this all sounds a bit, soft, the science is actually right there to back it up. Researchers have shown that when we practice compassion, it literally changes our brain chemistry. It fires up the reward and caregiving centers, helps us regulate our emotions, and even lowers our stress hormones like cortisol. It's a powerful tool against anxiety and depression. All right, theory's great, but how do we actually put this into practice? How do we do compassion when we're in the thick of it, when we feel awful? Let's get into the tools. And here's a crucial piece of wisdom, something shared by Gotama, the Buddha. It has to start with you. It has to start with ourselves. You've heard the saying, you can't pour from an empty cup, right? It's so true. If you're constantly beating yourself up, offering genuine kindness to others is almost impossible. It all begins with self-compassion.
So what does that actually sound like in your head? Well, Dr. Kristen Neff, who's a leading researcher on this, offers these super simple, powerful phrases. First, you just name it. This is a moment of suffering. Then you normalize it. Suffering is part of life. And then you offer kindness. May I be kind to myself. May I give myself what I need. It's so simple, but so profound.
And this is how compassion becomes the antidote. Think about it. So many of our harmful habits run on a fuel called shame. We get stuck, we feel ashamed of ourselves, and that awful feeling just drives us right back into the habit. Compassion breaks that cycle. It replaces that harsh inner critic with a voice of understanding.
So that's for ourselves. But what about when we're dealing with other people, especially people who, push our buttons? There's another simple practice for that called just like me. You just silently say to yourself, this person, just like me, wants to be happy. Just like me, they've known pain. Just like me, they're trying their best. It can totally shift how you see them.
All right, so as we start to wind down here, what's the big takeaway? What's the one thing to hold on to from all of this? It's not about becoming some perfect guru overnight. It's about taking that very first step. This line from Kristen Neff just says it all, doesn't it? Self-compassion is not a luxury. It is a necessity for healing. It's not some fluffy, nice-to-have, self-indulgent thing. It's the essential fuel you need for the journey. It's not optional. Because in the end, that's what compassion is. It's the rope. It's the tough, resilient binding that holds your raft together when the waters get rough. It's what gives you the strength to navigate whatever life throws at you, not with fear, but with courage and an open heart. Now, everything we've talked about today comes from the Raft to Freedom program. And the workbook, which was written by Dr. Catherine Jacob and Vince Cullen, is shared under a Creative Commons license, which is just fantastic. It means it's meant to be shared freely with anyone who could benefit. In fact, they've made the entire program and the workbook totally free for anyone who needs it. So if any of this resonated with you today, you can find everything and go much deeper at rafttofreedom.org. It really leaves you with a question, right? What could change if you decided to start binding your raft with compassion, starting today?